Good morning and welcome to year number 5 of Pitt to the Point. I'm Colin Ferguson.
And I'm Kaylin Davis. Pitt to the Point is your weekly, 1-hour, Emmy Award-nominated news and magazine program that airs live from the state-of-the-art Pitt Studios.
Pitt to the Point covers everything from the University of Pittsburgh to the City of Pittsburgh, as well as national and international events, news, people, and stories.
We're back with your favorite segments such as Alumni Spotlight and Clubbing at Pitt, which showcases one of our amazing student-run clubs here.
We'll feature stories from our incredible University of Pittsburgh regional campuses and tell you the top headlines from our neighborly journalists in arms, the Pitt News.
And we'll be joined live by our affiliate college and high school partners and their student anchors who will tell you what's going on in their school and their communities. Now, we're statewide from Pittsburgh to Lancaster to Philadelphia.
And of course, we'll continue to bring you the most up-to-date news from the world of politics, sports, business and technology, medicine, and entertainment in the City of Pittsburgh and at the University of Pittsburgh.
U.S. President Donald Trump has removed Kristi Noem as the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security following mismanagement of leadership and allegations of an extramarital affair.
Noem was cited to have conflict with other U.S. departments as well, including ICE and Customs and Border Protection.
President Trump has replaced Noem with Senator Mark Wayne Mullen from Oklahoma effective March 31st. Despite Noem's removal, Democrats in Congress have vowed to continue their investigation into her tenure.
President Trump also announced he'd be creating a new position for Noem, titling it Shield of the Americas, tasking her with a new security initiative for the Western Hemisphere.
That we continue to deliver information.
Is it so hard to say you were wrong?
We continue as these investigations continue to go, continue to do that.
And when you fail, do you admit it publicly?
Absolutely. We always know that there's room for improvement.
This was a notable exchange to me at the time. And when we were talking about sort of the straw that broke the camel's back, and we know that the president's reaction, particularly after the killing of Alex Preddy, did not match what we were hearing from DHS.
U.S. and Israeli military forces have joined together on a joint operation against Iran, titled Epic Fury, that began on Saturday, February 28th.
The White House has confirmed the fatalities of 49 Iranian regime leaders, including Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei.
Israeli forces estimate that between 1,000 and 1,500 members of the Iranian security forces have been killed since the beginning of the operation. 6 United States service members have also been confirmed deceased.
United States Central Command has announced that after dismantling top Iranian leadership, the focus is shifting to a, quote, systematic dismantling of Iran's missile industrial base.
It was my opinion that they were going to attack first. They were going to attack. If we didn't do it, they were going to attack first. I felt strongly about that. And we have great negotiators, great people that do this very successfully and have done it all their lives very successful. And based on the way the negotiation was going, I think they were going to attack first. And I didn't want that to happen. So if anything, I might have forced Israel's hand. But Israel was ready and we were ready.
Iranian civilians have found themselves displaced due to the conflict, and the country is struggling with a vacuum in their leadership as this conflict rages on. Our political reporter Farah Hindawi filed this report on the response from the people of Iran and how they're handling the turmoil.
On February 26, a major military conflict between the United States, Israel, and Iran began, codenamed Operation Epic Fury by the Trump administration. Iranian forces reacted within hours by launching missiles against targets in Tel Aviv and Haifa, as well as the U.S. military bases in the Gulf region. In the wake of these attacks, over 1,000 casualties were reported in Tehran, with Ayatollah Ali Khamenei being assassinated 2 days into the war. But how are Iranians and Americans here in Pittsburgh reckoning with the war, and why doesn't there seem to be a common consensus reached?
I am very concerned about the future of Iran. It was early to celebrate anything because my historical memory shows that people in Iraq and Syria celebrated. Bashar al-Assad fled to Russia, and Saddam Hussein was killed by the U.S. But I don't believe the U.S. Army can bring freedom, democracy, human rights for any country, especially in the Middle East. Actually, I don't have anything to celebrate, but to be honest with you, I'm very happy he's not alive anymore. At the same time, I wish they could bring him to justice because of all crimes against human rights, against women's rights, against minoritized and marginalized groups.
Anyone of direct Persian lineage who understands the situation, who has family there, who has been to Iran and seen the people being starved and seen the people asking and begging for help from any country really and being ignored, and the blatant lack of human rights in Iran, I think that they would not share that sentiment. However, I do understand perspective of Americans or even distant descendants of Iranians who don't really understand the conflict in Iran being like, America's just being an imperialist country trying to put itself in a war to gain resources. The small Pitt community that we do have of Iranians, we do have a group chat, and I have been texting in it with my friends, and we've been like comforting each other through this process. But the interference of America has actually led us to have some hope. As a woman, I feel like this should have been done so long ago. After the death of Mahsa Amini back in 2021, interference should have been taken a lot sooner if it was truly about human rights, which I don't think it is.
Retaliation from Iranian military forces who have begun targeting attacks on Bahrain, the UAE, Qatar, Jordan, and Kuwait. The increase in hostility has also garnered mixed responses from leaders all over the globe.
Australia and Canada have both expressed open support for America's actions, describing Iran's current leadership as a destabilizing force. On the other hand, Russian and Chinese officials spoke with criticism, describing the death of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei as cynical.
It is vital that we prevent further escalation and return to a diplomatic process. We want to see peace and security and the protection of civilian life.
The reports are untrue. As a responsible major power, China has always fulfilled its international obligations. China opposes malicious hype and hopes that relevant parties will do more to ease tensions.
This year marked a change in government for the city of Pittsburgh, as early in January, the Honorable Corey O'Connor was sworn in as the city's 62nd mayor. His speech was focused on one main theme: growing the city's culture of yes.
Mayor O'Connor joins the show today to speak about his plan for the city, as well as his stance on immigration and customs enforcement, the NFL draft, and the legacy that his father, the late Mayor Robert O'Connor, left behind for him.
Honor for joining us. First off, the past few days there have been confirmed reports about you on threats against you by neo-Nazi and other anti-Semitic groups. Can you confirm this and, tell us what precautions it is that you're taking?
Yeah, we did get those. We have protocol that steps into place, and I trust, the Pittsburgh police, some protocols that we did put in as extra security. And then, the reaction, everybody asks, what do you think? My first thought is, my wife and 2 little kids at home. So we changed the schedule a little bit when the threat came out. But also, as the mayor, we're going to continue to do our job.
An issue that is paramount that concerns here is within students is ICE, particularly your stance on it within Allegheny County and the city of Pittsburgh. So if you would mind sharing your stance on that.
Yeah, so we made it very clear we will not have a partnership. So there will be no cooperation between our police force and ICE, or our public safety in any way with ICE. And the reason to do that is a number. One, I don't believe in what they're doing. I think, they're causing a lot of chaos in our cities. We want people to know that Pittsburgh's a welcoming city. And we also want you that when you're in our city, you're not afraid to call emergency management, whether it's police, fire, or EMS, for support. And that doesn't matter to me whether you're here for 20 years, a year, a month, an hour. We want you to know that when you're in our city, we're going to protect your rights.
You had an inspiring inauguration speech, Mayor O'Connor. What stood out to us was your vision for the city as a whole. In your speech, you said, and I quote, "For too long, when it comes to growing Pittsburgh, our city has been a culture of we can't, we won't, a culture of no. Now it is time to change Pittsburgh's culture. It is time to become a city of hope and optimism, a Pittsburgh where each and every time we can get to yes. Where does that city of yes vision come from?
Obviously students, the talent that we have in Pittsburgh, and it's obviously Pitt, but other universities as well, how we can capitalize on that. And I think for far too long, when people have come to Pittsburgh and have proposed a project, look, not every project is going to be great. We understand that. But how do we get a balance where a project gets done? This is for the mom and pop store that wants to open in a neighborhood business district, but doesn't have the ability to wait 4 months for a permit. So things like that go a long way in showing that we want you in Pittsburgh. And if you're already here, we want you to be that anchor tenant in your neighborhood. And that's where it's got to be a culture of, yes, we can figure it out, and let's get to that yes, because then it shows more progress, but more opportunity for more residents.
The City of Pittsburgh enacted its first major hike in over a decade for the 2026 fiscal year. It's a 20% property tax increase. We do want to note that the Allegheny County Executive, Sarah Enamorado, presented a 2026 budget with no new taxes. Could you share with us how the revenue from an increase in their property taxes will be implemented? Also, how this will affect your idea of shovel-ready sites to attract businesses while still focusing on home ownership as an equity tool.
Yeah, so this was done by council prior to coming into our administration starting, but it was needed. There are large gaps in our budget, and we're still finding them out. And probably within the next week or so, we're going to come out with what we've found where there is a lot of money and budgetary gaps that have to be filled. And now it comes down to using that money to, again, as you just mentioned, cleaning out dilapidated sites that we own so that they're shovel ready for community organizations to rebuild and build faster and cut costs. Anything there that we can put capital in so you can build something for less cost, that means you can also sell it for less cost. So now you're buying a home in Pittsburgh more affordable. So we have to make sure that by growing the city, we don't go back to the well and tax residents more and more. We have to make sure that the new revenue that comes in is going to spur future development and future growth.
Public safety in the city of Pittsburgh has been a hot topic. It just continues to be. Kind of building off of, previous comments about attracting small businesses, as well as you well know, the upcoming NFL draft. How do you hope to address public safety here in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, so I think some stabilizing of some leadership is helpful. So we nominated and got approved a new chief of police, Jason Landa, who has been here before and knows Pittsburgh. I didn't want to bring somebody in that wasn't familiar with the city or familiar with some of our officers. But he also believes, like I do, in community policing. And that's something that's very, very important, is to build those relationships between our law enforcement and our residents. And then we also put a new public safety director in place, Sheldon Williams, who, again, has that mindset, was a paramedic, a trained firefighter, and a police officer, and his military experience as well, and actually was a professor at Pitt. So, all those help, but it puts new faces in those positions who understand the job. And I think that's really beneficial to reaching out to the community.
And speaking of the NFL draft, on April 23rd, 24th, and 25th, the National Football League descends on Pittsburgh. Can you please share your excitement about this?
Oh, we're excited. We're a little stressed, but we're excited. I think it's a great opportunity to sell the city in two ways. One, all the thousands of plus people that are going to show up. So showing off our city that week is going to be very important. Showing them, the culture that we have, the great food that we have, the art, the music, all of the things that we love about our city, you're going to experience it firsthand. But then also when you have millions of viewers, it's now our time to tell Pittsburgh's news story about robotics, about tech, about entrepreneurs, about neighborhoods, about, I can go on and on. Those things that we love so much about Pittsburgh, just on a worldwide scale that we haven't done in a while.
In terms of the draft as well, there's going to be a large influx of people coming in. Do we have a specific estimate on what that number is really going to look like? And for those tourists specifically, what can they expect to find here in Pittsburgh?
I think what they're going to find is a city that's going to surprise them. I tell everybody when you fly in and you get through that tunnel, that's the best view in the world. They're also going to see, again, our food scene, our neighborhoods, our walkability will surprise a lot of people. You know, there are hills. Look, it's not the easiest place to go all over town, but when you're in downtown proper, North Shore, the Strip District, Pittsburgh is walkable. And then for us, numbers wise, you know, we hear anywhere from 350 to 400,000. So it could be even more than that. And again, that's over a span of a week and a couple of days of just the draft. So we're preparing for all of those numbers.
You've kind of hinted about this a little bit, but what is your hope for the overall takeaway for someone that's visiting Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I mean, I hope they go home and say, wow, Pittsburgh was great. I'm going to go back. Or they tell 10 of their friends, hey, I didn't think of, you know, going to Pittsburgh for a nice weekend, or it had all of these amenities that I didn't know they had. So it's, hey, it was so much fun. I'm going to go back for a Steeler game. And, oh, I saw PNC Park. I'm going to go back for a Pirate game. You know, we can capitalize on our sports tradition to get people to come back, especially when they have a great experience.
Switching it up a little bit, how does your time and your background in both elementary education, in which you have a bachelor's degree from Duquesne University, as well as your very successful coaching experience at your alma mater, Pittsburgh Central Catholic, come into play for you now as the mayor of the city of Pittsburgh?
I think it helps. It helps a lot. I mean, you know, in politics, it's not bad to have an early childhood education. You know, it calms you down sometimes. I think it's good because when you're a teacher, you're always trying to help people improve. You know, in so many ways, teachers are mentors, coaches are mentors. They're here to promote you and to build off of your skills that already exist.
We would like to end with this. Your late father, the Honorable Robert O'Connor, served as mayor of the city of Pittsburgh 20 years ago. What lessons, either political or maybe life lessons, did you learn from your father?
You know, good question. Well, the number one thing he had on his desk was the number one priority are the people of Pittsburgh. And, you know, this desk and this office belongs to them. So, you know, be out in the neighborhoods. Don't always, as I'm sitting behind the desk, I shouldn't say this, but don't always sit behind your desk. Go out and meet people. You're going to learn more in the neighborhoods than you would from spending millions of dollars on study after study. And I think that's the type of leader I want to be, just to hear from everybody, because a lot of people feel that their voice isn't heard. But if you're out there and you're approachable, that's something that goes a very long way. And remember that, you know, the people are, you know, right, and that we have to, you know, try to accommodate them as best we can.
Our Mayor O'Connor for
And if you think that's a lot, just wait until you see what we have next. From historic heights to the continual evolution of AI and a visit from our fellow Panthers at Riverside High School, there's plenty still left to cover.
We've got all that and more when we return to Pitt to the Point.
Tuning back into Pitt to the Point. Happen to watch a story that piques your interest? Want to find more about what's going on in Pittsburgh? Visit our website.
That's right. If you want to find out more about the world of politics, medicine, business and technology, and more, log on to pittothepoint.com.
Not only can you see clips from today's show, but you can also read about the topics that interest you and more. Check it out at pittothepoint.com. Here at Pitt to the Point, nothing brings us more joy than having college and high school partners on the show. We love being able to provide a platform for our young journalists to thrive.
Our next guests are from Riverside High School, and they'll be taking us sightseeing through Pittsburgh. Please welcome the Riverside Panthers, Colin Locke and Cheyenne Smith.
How's it going, guys?
Good morning, Caitlin and Colin. I'm Cheyenne, and this is also Colin. Thank you for having us on today's broadcast of Pitt to the Point.
Riverside High School is located in Elwood City, about an hour north of Pitt's campus, and this year's RHS graduating class is 120 students.
Today we have a video of the Who Works the Rivers field trip that several of our students attended in October. This field trip introduces students to the importance of Pittsburgh's 3 rivers and shows associated jobs with the waterways.
It all takes place on the Gateway Clipper Fleet in Pittsburgh and starts on the Monongahela River.
Welcome back to another Riverside Spotlight. Today we are going to the Gateway Clipper for one of our school's many career field trips. RiverWorks Discovery offers the opportunity to explore different career options on the river through their Who Works the Rivers program. This field trip teaches students about careers in maritime commerce, culture, and conservation. It is open to all Riverside High School students, grades 9 through 12, and will be accompanied by Mr. Deaney and Mr. Walmsley. Students will meet different maritime industries on the Gateway Clipper and learn about what they do. What is the Gateway Clipper, you may ask? Well, it is a fleet of classic boats located in Pittsburgh, PA, that offers many different things like sightseeing cruises, dinner dances, and special events, like the one we're taking part in today, where Who Works the River brings the opportunity to learn about maritime careers to us. Who Works the Rivers is a company based out of Iowa that travels the country to different inland river ports such as New Orleans, St. Louis, Cincinnati, and today, Pittsburgh. The City of Pittsburgh is at the confluence of the Allegheny and Monongahela rivers to create the Ohio River, flowing across Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois to the Mississippi rivers and on to New Orleans. Pittsburgh has heavy industry along its rivers that play a vital role in our economy. This is because a barge is the most efficient way to move bulk raw materials. Who Works the Rivers has brought industries that work on the Pittsburgh rivers here today to meet with students and learn about various careers in inland maritime. This includes the Army Corps of Engineers, an agency that provides public engineering services. The United States Coast Guard, they inspect all commercial vessels. The PA Fish and Game Commission, who manages Pennsylvania's wildlife. This is your hunting and fishing license. And private industry includes underwater welders, barge companies, biologists, and water conservation. Students received demonstrations and hands-on experience. There was also show and tell of the various ins and outs of the Gateway Clipper fleet. This includes the engine room and wheelhouse. The highlight of the event was the 1-hour boat ride around downtown Pittsburgh, Point State Park, and the stadiums. The views offer a much different perspective of our beautiful city. During the ride, students ate lunch, pizza and chips, with unlimited soft drinks. Be sure to join us next time. This field trip takes place twice a year, once in April and in October.
Field trips are about experiences and job shadowing.
Upcoming field trips include visiting the Newcastle Forge, and later all Riverside seniors will be on the Gateway Clipper for the senior dinner dance the week before graduation.
Back to you, Colin and Kaylin.
Now, Colin, I'm not afraid of heights. Like young people, I love a good thrill but that even has its limits.
Well, I'm not sure a certain influencer would agree with you after he climbed one of Pittsburgh's tallest buildings. Our city beat reporter Nick Bennick has the story. Nick?
Thanks, Colin. If you're on Instagram as much as I am, you potentially saw the Pittsburgh skyline on a recent viral video. It's because last week, a man scaled the 6th tallest skyscraper in our city. What did he do with the footage? He uploaded it to social media. So we talked to some students on campus to see how they feel about it. Uploading dangerous stunts for views has been part of the internet for quite some time. But at what point is it too far? On Thursday, February 26th, Pennsylvania resident Austin Seek decided to push the limit, climbing Pittsburgh's Gulf Tower. With this content being aimed at a younger demographic, student opinions on the matter are split.
I don't think that's the smartest decision ever to make just for views. I mean, I get it, like, people want to get, you know, more views on social media or whatever, but I don't think that's what they should focus on.
I really admire him for it, and I think that we need to have more people doing things like this.
Despite the danger some influencers put themselves through for views, this form of content has become increasingly prevalent on apps like Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah, sometimes I'll see someone doing something that might be like physically dangerous and it's just for engagement from followers, yeah.
Yeah, I do, yeah. I send them and my friends send them to me. Mostly we just laugh at them or say like, who would do something like this? So I guess it is working to garner attention.
This type of content is found all across the country, but it being so close to home adds another layer for students.
I think it's kind of almost in a sense like it puts Pittsburgh on the map. Like people are doing the stupid stuff here now. But at the same time, nobody should get any ideas is my second thought.
I mean, hey, like I've never heard of it before. I feel like sometimes we're so locked in school that we forget like this is literally just a city and people can do whatever, so.
I think there's better ways about getting, if you want views, safer ways, for sure.
Although Seek was detained by police a day after the incident, it is unclear whether this form of content will continue on his channel. For Pitt to the Point, I'm City Beat reporter Nick Bennick, tossing to business and tech reporter Maxine von Norwick. Maxine?
The University Career Center hosted an event this week called AI and Automation, Embrace or Replace. This was aimed at students looking to incorporate the technology into their career. This event was hosted by Tim McLaughlin, former Pitt student and current business founder within Pittsburgh, who showed students how AI can be a tool and a translator in their fields.
I'm here to talk to students and some faculty about what I refer to as the human side of AI and how it impacts and fits into the creative industries. As industry leaders or whatever, fully understand that these tools are available and know how they can be. And so the big reason I wanted to do this workshop is we're really seeing how AI and all the AI tools, how it's infiltrating our industry, how it's also changing the perception of what people expect from a creative agency, what internal marketing departments are expecting their teams to be able to do. And a big thing, we are an agency, a for-profit organization, and it's also having a massive impact on what people think the value of some services are. So there's a lot to unbundle here. So where I see AI is being able to use to take your thoughts and communicate it in a way that he's going to embrace it and say, oh, I understand that, and vice versa. So my hope in the workshop is to expose the students and the faculty that are here on how we're seeing the trends and how AI tools are being used, where we are seeing them used and to great value and benefit to a client, to an industry, to a not-for-profit, to an agency. We're also seeing the dirty side of it, the nefarious ways that they're being used and kind of maybe changing the industry or offering to make changes in the industry that we're not as open and welcome to. So we're seeing both sides of it. And take away, and my understanding is, and I will stand by this, it's empathy.
Well, the package focused mostly on what it is to be in a career with AI. Tim McLaughlin in the workshop also discussed the drawbacks of AI, including some ethical issues. For Pitt to the Point, I'm business and technology reporter Maxine Van Norwick. Kaylin,
Colin, are you ready to get active?
I know all of us in the studio sure are right now. We've got updates on multiple different Pitt athletics teams, including one that's sure to be knocking it out of the park.
Not only that, we're also checking out a fun new club inside the city for people who might want to learn how to do an Olympic sport.
And we'll give the floor to our partners at the Pitt News. All this and more on Pitt to the Point.
You're why we believe it's possible at Pitt.
We each became a part of something larger than ourselves.
Paige Allen.
Thank you.
There's a lot that goes down here on campus, here in the heart of Oakland, as well as around the world. Thankfully, we've got help from our partners from the Pitt News to give us a hand.
That's right. Let's take a look at what their writers brought as their top headlines of this week.
This week, a Pitt linebacker and the National Aviary spread their wings. To find out more, we turn to the student perspective at the University of Pittsburgh, the Pitt News, and their top headlines. Kyle Lewis, a redshirt junior at Pitt, has made a name for himself with 2 standout seasons and a, quote, shark mentality. After attending the 2026 NFL Combine, Lewis has proven to everyone else what Panthers already know. He is a versatile and consistent defensive player. When the draft comes to the Steel City, many believe Lewis could be chosen in round 1.
What motivates me is my family and my city. My city looking behind me. I'm putting on for my city in a serious way, especially with the shark mentality that I got. And I carry that on my shoulders every day I wake up.
In the North Shore of Pittsburgh, boisterous birdwatchers also showed up and showed out this weekend. The National Aviary hosted one of its most popular events, the annual Flamingo Fest. Attendees could enjoy flamingo feedings, themed activities and crafts, a scavenger hunt, and educational programs, all while dressing up in pink. This is one of multiple events highlighting a specific species at the National Aviary. Thank you to Zach Scabaloni and Cassie St. John for their reporting. For more on sensational sports, flamingo feats, and the student perspective on the world around us, check out The Pitt News.
Pitt basketball season may be coming to a close rather soon with a win-and-in matchup versus Syracuse Orange on Saturday to make the ACC tournament.
And it's been a home run of a start for Pitt baseball, who swept UNC Greensboro just last weekend. For more, we send it to our Pitt sports reporter, Ryan Tarabokia. Ryan?
Despite spring sports being in full swing, the University of Pittsburgh winter sports are still wrapping up. And with the end of the season often comes change. Pitt's men's and women's basketball teams both have and will be playing their final games of the season this week. Pitt's women's basketball team took on NC State this past Sunday, a game in which they lost 93-43 in their final game of the season. Following the loss, the university announced that they would be moving on from head coach Tory Verdi. Verdi coached the Panthers to an 8-23 record, managing only 1 in-conference win. Pitt's men's basketball team takes on Syracuse tomorrow in a game that if the Panthers win, they would clinch the ACC tournament. However, with a loss, they would be eliminated. The Panthers have not missed the ACC tournament since joining the conference in 2013. Turning things over to spring sports, Pitt baseball is off to a record start under head coach Mike Bell. The Panthers have been able to blend both returners and transfers to result in one of the most potent offenses in the country. Panther fans hope the team can build on this success.
The Pittsburgh Panthers baseball team has started 9-2 to open the 2026 season. They are coming off of a 28-27 season in which they managed to upset Louisville in the ACC tournament. The Panthers are on a 5-game win streak, which includes last week's home opener against Bucknell, as well as their first home series against UNC Greensboro, in which they mercied in 2 of those 4 games and winning all of them. This record-setting Panthers offense is second in the NCAA in on-base percentage, 4th in runs per game and team batting average, and feature the 8th best slug in the country. The Panthers' most recent victory came on Wednesday against Ohio, a game in which they mercied and won 14-2, highlighted by their 3rd grand slam in 5 games. Here's what head coach Mike Bell had to say after the Panthers were able to defeat Ohio.
An effort right from the get-go, and in our pre-meetings and stuff, we kind of challenge them a little bit, because sometimes the midweeks can kind of sneak up on you a little bit. And we talked about playing the game, not the opponent. Utmost respect for Ohio, tremendous program. Coach C is going to do great things there, but we wanted to make sure we're playing the game, not the face of the opponent. And I thought Dog and Arrow's first inning was a telltale, striking out the side, making some really good pitches in that inning. And then our grand slam there by Piscaretta, I believe, in the first inning with 2 outs on the backside, just kind of gave us that lift. But I thought our energy, our effort, right, and focus right from the get-go. Carrier with a big home run in the middle frames. Carter Deerdorf, big home run in the late innings there. Just quality at bats, building innings with discipline. Mikey Gray come out of the pen and Sammy Bryan. I thought it was up and down the lineup. It was a great team win today, and I thought the focus, intensity was really there. It was a really good brand of Panther baseball.
Panthers head to California this weekend to take on San Jose State before heading over to Stanford to open up ACC play. For Pitt to the Point, I'm Pitt sports reporter Ryan Tarabokia. Now, for more sports, we turn over to City sports reporter Natalie Fogel. Natalie?
Thanks, Ryan. While curling only gets the spotlight every 4 years during the Winter Olympics, here in Pittsburgh, we have the opportunity to try it out whenever we want. The Pittsburgh Curling Club in McKees Rocks welcomes beginners and advanced curlers to come out and either be a part of a basic learn to curl or maybe a more advanced league. No matter what, everyone who comes out gets to see what this hype is all about.
Yeah, I played pickleball with the Pittsburgh Sports League, and they made an announcement about some new leagues, and the curling was one of them. And yeah, of course, it's all over the Olympics, so I came out to check it out. And first time playing, I was addicted. I signed membership first day.
The Pittsburgh Curling Club, a group in the city where anyone who wants can learn to curl.
We're trying to offer a good variety of are you a returning curler? You haven't curled in a while, but you want to just get up to speed? We've got you there. If you're a new curler, we've got beginner leagues for that.
That's the awesome thing about the sport of curling. It's super accessible because when you show up, whether you have no experience or you have a ton of experience, you're going to get put on a team and you're going to have to work with other people, and they're going to be there to support your success, and you're going to be able to help support their success. Whether you have no idea what you're doing, you still might get involved in a key play and just putting your all into sweeping a stone, or maybe you know what you're doing and you get put in a critical position to sort of throw an important last shot. Regardless of your skill level, you're going to be put on a team and able to help out, and that's going to really integrate you quickly regardless of who you are. And so I think curling as a sport works really well for whoever you are, whatever skill level you're at, really just getting involved.
Everybody was so friendly. Yeah, I didn't feel like there was any pressure. You made mistakes, everybody was making mistakes. Everybody was so helpful to make sure that you had a good time.
As soon as you hear accessibility, the first thing you think is wheelchairs. We're accessible for wheelchair curling. We're a 501(c)(3) nonprofit. Part of it is that our mission statement says that we are providing accessible curling to the Western Pennsylvania kind of region.
Since the Winter Olympics only ended 2 weeks ago, this club has seen a shift in attendance.
Speaking as the communications chair, I can see our web traffic, and it definitely spiked around February 3rd, the first day that we had curling appear on the TV. It started a little before the opening ceremony, so we're getting a lot of publicity right now, and we're happy to make space for people.
Curling has a little bit of the problem of in the United States of it's on TV for the Olympics, and then it sort of goes away for every 4 years. So just trying to get people to sort of know that curling exists and it's a fun thing to come out and do.
So I, as myself, and I think you'll hear from many other curlers, they learned about it through the Olympics, especially in the American audience. That's sort of where curling comes into the frame of view. The cool thing is though, whenever the Olympics come around, everyone's like, oh, you curl. Like, my grandparents want to come over and have me explain it to them what's going on, and America's doing well and people are asking me questions. You kind of become a little bit of a niche expert for a little bit, and it's nice to be able to have more of an interest and ability to sort of participate in the Olympic conversation. It's sort of fun.
We get hockey players, we get ice skaters. It translates pretty well to curling. They've got the balance for it. I personally dance in the West Coast swing community, and I feel like dancing helps me with balance curling-wise, so it's a really accessible sport for people who've like come from other sports as well. Like, there's something in it for everyone.
With the sport being easily adaptable for all, no matter your background experience, all you need is to come with a good attitude, get ready to meet some new people, and you'll be able to check something off your possible bucket list. For Pitt to the Point, I'm City Sports reporter Natalie Fogel. Kaylin, Colin.
Kaylin, what an active set of stories we had.
And we've still got plenty to go. We'll take our trip to our sister campus in Johnstown, where students are being molded into the leaders of tomorrow.
Not only that, we'll also look at a brand new store right here on Forbes Ave, and we get an early look at the American Cancer Society's Relay for Life.
For all of this, stay tuned in to Pitt to the Point.
I am so honored and humbled to officially welcome you to the University of Pittsburgh.
Never in our 238-year history has a Pitt education been so much in demand. It's possible at Pitt is not just something we say when you walk in the door. Hail to each of you, hail to possible, and hail to Pitt.
This morning, you take your place in this honored tradition. You take your place in a time of great challenge and even greater opportunity.
Community comes at the cost of your comfort zone. You don't just stumble upon community in college, you create it. I hope that your journey outside of your comfort zone eventually leads you to a community that welcomes you exactly as you are. Class of 2029, whatever you're feeling right now, I hope that sometime soon you feel at home.
Congratulations, class of 2029, and good luck to you as you begin your journey.
They create more amazing leaders.
Well, Kaylin, Pitt Johnstown seems to agree after having their annual leadership summit just a few weeks ago. Let's turn it to our regional campus reporter, Audrey Biggs, with the full story. Audrey?
On January 31st of January, the University of Pittsburgh at Johnstown held its 5th annual Leadership Summit event. The event is a one-day free event that is all for undergraduate and graduate students. In hopes to teach them great leadership skills and networking skills for the rest of their life.
Gary Poole, and I'm the SGA president here at UPJ. January 31st is Leadership Summit, so don't forget to sign up. The registration closes tomorrow, January 23rd, and if you go, you get a free crew neck. And I went last year, and it was a great experience. I learned all about leadership and how to grow as a person and step into this role.
Hi, I'm Terry Masters. I'm a junior biology student, and I'm the president of Program Board. I went to our Leadership Summit last year, and I learned the importance of collaborating with other organizations. I use this all the time so that we can make bigger events and events that reach more students on campus. So I think you should go to this year's Leadership Summit, and you need to sign up by noon tomorrow on Friday.
Hi, my name is Alyssa. I am a nursing major, and last year I attended Leadership Summit, and I learned how to get a group of people together and build great things for the community.
Hi, my name is Justin Hetz. I'm a general management and marketing student. Come join us at the Leadership Summit, where you can see just what kind of leader are you and how you can effectively lead your team.
Hi, I'm Madison, and I am a special ed and early ed major. I went to Leadership Summit last year, and one thing I really learned was that there's so many different parts of leadership roles and that each one is very important to what they do.
The summit was held at the Living/Learning Center at the University of Pittsburgh at Johnstown. It was hosted by the 1889 Foundation Center for Population Health.
The university continues to want to grow this event heading into their 6th annual year next year for all students and organizations. For Pitt to the Point, I'm regional campus reporter Audrey Biggs. Kaylin, Colin.
Here on Pitt's campus, over 250 members learned to engage in ways to increase the spread of cancer awareness. This is just one chapter of a nationwide brand.
The brand's mission is to improve the lives of people with cancer and their families through advocacy, research, and patient support to ensure everyone has an opportunity to prevent, detect, treat, and survive cancer.
So on a national level, overall just fundraising across the nation, across college campuses and high schools and even some middle schools. All the money goes towards cancer research, so advancing cancer research. There actually are researchers at UPMC Home and Cancer Center that are funded by the American Cancer Society. Our most successful GBM, I would say, was the one that we actually was a collaboration with another organization. It's called Crafting Change Club. We made the pipe cleaner flowers and we actually donated them to the patients at Home and Cancer Center. So a lot of cancer patients aren't allowed to receive live flowers because it's an infection control risk, and then also like sometimes the scents can like upset them and things like that. And then this semester, since we're gearing up towards Relay. Full name is Relay for Life. Pretty much every single ACS branch has one every year, but it's not like an actual race or running or anything. It's basically just a big carnival. So our theme is Monopoly. So we're basically just going to have a bunch of tables set up so that it'll look like sort of like a Monopoly board, a bunch of different activities for everybody to do. We'll also have like pickleball tournaments and badminton and basketball and things like that. We have a ton of raffles because we had a ton of local businesses donate items, so that'll be like our community chest. And then we have the Luminaria ceremony is the big event during Relay, so this will be a chance for anybody that wants to like speak up about why the cause is important. So personally, I'll be speaking. Our president-elect, Callie, will also be speaking. We have a cancer survivor on campus that wants to speak as well. Basically what the ceremony is everybody gets a glow stick, and we kind of start out very specific. So we'll say like, crack your glow stick if you yourself have been affected by cancer, and then they'll crack it. And then it'll be crack your glow stick if a parent has been affected, sibling, on. And then basically the point is that at the very end, everybody has stood up and cracked their glow stick, and it's just to show that everybody is impacted by cancer, and that's why the cause is important to so many people. Just come to Relay. Just if you search Relay for Life at Pitt, you'll find our website, and anybody can register now.
Hey, Kaylin, do you remember the old Rite Aid that used to be on campus?
Of course. How could I forget? It was notorious for having snacks and medicine and toiletries.
Well, those shelves just got a little more swag. Let's hand it over to our Pitt Beat reporter, Ricketta Livingston, for more. Ricketta?
Once a place to get your grocery stores and your everyday items, Pitt students now walk the street of Forbes to see how the Rite Aid, which has closed last year in 2025, has now been replaced by a rally house this past February. While there's construction still happening in the rally house, we get to hear a few opinions from students that get to see this change. Let's take a look.
I think the one at the Pitt is already, I think, way too much. I mean, you got it in the heart of where all the sports are played, so I feel like that's a good place to have it. I don't really see the point in having it beyond Forbes. I feel like something else could have taken its place that could have been more useful to the students. I think Pitt could use a lot more grocery stores, considering the closest ones are like a bus ride away. I think it would really benefit the students having something that they could get good produce for cheap, considering it is students. I think a merchandise store doesn't really add much. but it also takes a lot away from the average student, considering you have to take such a long commute just to get to any like decent grocery store. As much as Pitt students have complained about the lack of grocery stores on campus, I think it's showing a lack of a want or a need to listen to their students and actually make sure they're well taken care of.
The main reason I would say is because the Pitt store is already so close, and I feel like if you're on lower campus and you want to buy Pitt merch, you're probably going to go there because most people who are been on campus a while aren't going to know that that exists yet. So honestly, it seems a little silly to me that they're opening it.
Oakland is a food desert, and I felt like we should have been given an affordable food option rather than some other sports store that we don't need because we have multiple of those. Maybe even like Pitt Pantry or something could have taken over the spot. Just some form of food source for students. Just something that would be a little bit more helpful than a clothing store.
I feel like that's a pretty big thing too. I feel every college student you talk to, whether they're on campus or off, they usually have a pretty easy way of getting groceries, and I feel like Pitt, that's like the one thing it's missing.
When the Riley House on Forbes officially opens and is done with construction, this will be the 5th Pitt store where students are able to shop for their Pitt merch. For Pitt to the Point, at Pitt B reporter Ricketta Livingston. Kaylin, Colin.
Unfortunately, we're nearing the very end of our show, but don't fret, we still have a few headliners still left in the queue.
Stay tuned for a sensational spotlight and Morgan Arlia with all the lights, glamour, and action coming up next on Pitt to the Point.
Can you hear me?
This is interesting.
Is this on? Can y'all see me?
Do I just talk?
Pitt basketball beating WVU in the backyard brawl.
Favorite Pitt memories running out during the backyard brawl.
Pitt's a beautiful place. I'm graduating in a couple of weeks. I'm really sad about it. I really am so grateful for the time I've had here.
My favorite Pitt memory was defending my thesis this year.
And ever since the first day of classes, we've been friends because we're directionally challenged.
My favorite memory was all the times I spent with my friends.
I should do it. Working on a movie with one of my good friends.
My favorite Pitt memory was winning Backyard Brawl at like the last second because I was going to leave.
Going to the Pitt volleyball games and seeing them beat Penn State and Louisville and all the people.
My favorite memory is the photo shoot we just had for the ballet club at Pitt.
My favorite Pitt memory this year was winning the backyard brawl. H2P, baby.
And I just finished my last German class and I started tearing up because after 5 years we finally did it. So yeah, that's probably one of my favorites. It's like nice out, it's beautiful, and I'm like so happy. Bye!
We're right in the middle of award season, and with it comes the Pittsburgh Film Office's annual Lights, Glamour, Action Gala.
The event takes place on March 14th to celebrate the upcoming Oscar Award ceremony. Our entertainment reporter Morgan Arlia has the action on what we can expect from the gala this year. Morgan?
The Lights, Glamour, Action Gala is coming back to town. The Pittsburgh Film Office is hosting their annual Lights, Glamour, Action Gala on March 14th. This event will feature some celebrity guests, a high-profile silent auction, and overall a way to celebrate what the Pittsburgh Film Office has done for the film industry.
The Lights, Glamour, Action is the annual fundraising gala of the Pittsburgh Film Office. And for anyone who doesn't know, the Pittsburgh Film Office is an economic development agency dedicated to marketing the Pittsburgh region to the film and television industry. Every year, the night before the Oscars, we party, we celebrate the year before, in hopes of also generating money or also support in order to continue with the success we've had. We are in frantic gala preparing mode. This is a 5-person office, not including our amazing interns, 2 of which are from Pitt this year. And we are truly just like grinding the wheels, getting things going, and we're really looking forward to celebrating on March 14th. My role is I am the communications coordinator at the Pittsburgh Film Office, so I am going to be running around all night, making sure everything is going smoothly. I'll be helping to post stuff on our social media platforms, manage our interns, but also just make sure everyone's having a good time. A big part of that night is our silent auction, and that is going to be remote. It's going to be virtual, so anyone who can't make it to the party is still able to bid.
and that'll be also displayed on our social media. That'll be me. Alongside that, I did want to mention that we have a lot of really cool items, including an exclusive Zoom call with the creators of hit television show The Pitt, where you can ask any questions about how the show was made and how it got off the ground. The Pittsburgh Film Office benefits from it, from all of the proceeds that go towards the silent auction, but also any tickets that are bought. That is a big source of how we make our mission possible. Alongside that, though, it's just a great night to celebrate all of the good things we do for the community, whether it's supporting small businesses, whether it's bringing that work here. We actually currently have a crew base of over 5,000 crew who get stable work and family-sustaining jobs from every production that comes here. The thing that I like to steal from our executive director, Don Keyser, is that you can film anything here except for a beach or a desert, and that can happen on a stage. We have such a diverse topography and land that truly you can go maybe 20, 30 miles outside of the city and get a completely different landscape. That is such a boon to any filmmaker. If you're able to have those locations within that distance, you're able to make production much more efficient. That being said, I also want to give full credit to the amazing crew and cast we have here. The people they were able to show up and be consistently reliable for these productions that bring this money and bring this impact. Last year, it was a lot of fun because the Pitt Broadcasting Club came and they actually produced a red carpet live stream for us, which was a ton of fun. They got to meet Jeremy Renner. They got to have a blast. It's a really fun way to show off that Pitt is a big part of our community.
If students are interested in learning more about what goes into planning this event, they are welcome to apply for an internship with the Pittsburgh Film Office. For Pitt to the Point, I'm entertainment reporter Morgan Arlia. Kaylin, Colin.
Thanks, Morgan. The University of Pittsburgh has a deep and diverse set of alumni that have passed through its halls.
Today, we're highlighting one alumnus who you've probably heard of, though you might not know it. Our Alumni Spotlight looks at Saul Markowitz, a man who's evolved from Pitt Panther to TikTok infamy, and I must say, his content really is bussin'.
My name is Saul Markowitz, right? And I graduated in 1984. Went to Pitt from 1980 to 1984. My freshman year in college, I was just I knew I was interested in the PR world, but I wasn't really sure. I went straight to the Pitt radio station, which was WPGH radio at that time, not PTS. And I said, do you have a promotion director? And they went, no, actually we don't. So I signed up. So for 4 years, I was the promotion director at the Pitt radio station. So I was a psych major and minored in writing. But I had more experience in the PR world before I graduated college, which is really pretty great. And there I was, this lone little this little Pitt grad, just sitting there going, I think I can figure this out. Let's go. Called me and said, I want you to meet the PR director of the symphony. She called me and said, can you type? I said, yes, I can type. And she said, I'm looking for a secretary/administrative assistant in the PR department of the Pittsburgh Symphony. And I got the job, my first job out of school. There I was doing my thing. So I was handling, the symphony orchestra concerts, the pop concerts. Broadway just started then, so I was doing PR for Broadway and promotions for Broadway. It was pretty great. In my head, it was always, I told my wife, Bonnie, who's also a Pitt grad too, and I always said, one day I need to open my own shop. I just have to do it. And then, Markowitz Communications started on April Fool's Day of 1997, and we've been in business almost 29 years. I'm glad you said. I'm so fortunate that we did work with Mr. Rogers. A friend of mine who worked for the Penguins, who was marketing director for the Penguins, called me one day and she said, every team has a celebrity captain. So we need one here in Pittsburgh. Can you find me a famous Pittsburgh or CMU alumni that would be a really good captain for the Penguins? I said, forget that. I have a better idea. She goes, what? I said, what about Mr. Rogers? And it just hit me. I said, what if he's wearing a sweater and a C on it? That'd be great. If you Google it, you'll see that Fred Rogers was the celebrity captain for the Penguins years ago, and they made a hockey card out of it. And then she invited me to the game, and there I was watching Fred Rogers come out and skate on the ice. It was pretty great. And we're still doing our thing. Working with Cirque has been amazing. And we did the rubber duck thing that happened at the cultural show. We're just like, we're so lucky just to be a part of all this stuff. It's that shy little student at Pitt that came there knowing one person when I came to Pittsburgh. And years later, here we are. And I thank Pitt for that.
And with that, Kaylin, our first show as anchors has hit its end.
It feels almost too soon, but don't worry. We'll be here for the entire month of March to bring you content from the City of Pittsburgh and the University of Pittsburgh, as well as everything in the world of sports, entertainment, politics, and business and tech.
Not only that, we'll be taking trips to all of our regional campuses and high schools all over the state of Pennsylvania, all to provide you the best news coverage from Pitt all the way to the point. I'm Colin Ferguson.
And I'm Kaylin Davis. We'll see you next week.